Welcome back, everybody. Treasury Secretary Tim Geithner unveiling a new bank rescue plan this week. And while the president says he has complete confidence in Geithner, some lawmakers don't feel the same way. Senator Richard Shelby is saying that Geithner is on shaky ground. Other Republicans are calling for his resignation. So what's the word on Tim Geithner? Is he a buy, sell, or hold? Joining me now with some thoughts on all of this, David Asman, host of America's Nightly Scoreboard. Welcome, David. Great to see you.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you put it in the context of the scoreboard show that we do. We always have a buy, sell, hold. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Well, a lot of people last week really angry at Geithner, and obviously continuing to this week to spill over. Many people looking to blame someone for the mess, saying that he has got to go, that he has not been at the top of his game. How do you read this?
Well, last week it was mostly about AIG, of course, because at first the administration was outraged about these bonuses that the administration was the one that put in the stimulus bill. So, I mean, it was political theater of a high order. Perhaps what happened is that Tim Geithner had that put in the stimulus bill without the president knowing. It's a possibility, but not a big one. But the point is that it just seems so hypocritical. That was last week. This week, he comes out with a new bailout plan, and the problem with this bailout plan looks very similar to past ones. That is, bailing out billionaire hedge funds and bankers. The American taxpayer is hurting, Uma, and they don't want to bail out rich people any more than they already have, and it looks like they're going to get bailed out in this new plan.
So how does he sell this in a way that shores him up and instills confidence with the public?
You'd have to be able to sell ice to an Eskimo in order to sell this in Congress. I mean, because this is a kind of, again, the furor, the American public furor, we're up to here with bailouts, particularly ones that benefit rich people. And the first reading of it, it's not just me. I mean, Paul Krugman, who's a liberal in the New York Times, says the same thing today. He says essentially banks benefit if the profits of these things go up, these toxic assets, which they're now giving some...
Legacy assets.
Legacy assets, yeah, kind of a nicer sounding phrase. If they go up, and there's a good bet that they won't, but if they do, the banks profit. But if they go down, and there's a much better chance they will, the banks will walk away without having to pay the bill. It's the taxpayer that picks up the bill. So they have nothing but a gain to this. That's why Wall Street is way up today. Wall Street is up about 250 points. So, you know, again, how do you sell fat cats getting richer on the basis of tax dollars to the American public? I think it's a very tough sell.
It is a tough sell. And I know you wanted to also talk about the fact that President Obama wants to limit the pay of other executives across the board.
You know, last week I suggested that all of the furor over AIG and suggesting that maybe the government knows better than private corporations how much people should get paid. I thought that might spill over into non-TARP companies, that is, companies that haven't received money from the federal government. And in fact, over the weekend, the administration has come out with a plan to do exactly that. Again, it's a plan. It's not something that's written into law yet. It probably wouldn't pass lawmakers, but who knows? Stuff that last year you never thought was possible is now happening in this country. But essentially, the government would be able to tell companies, all public corporations, exactly how they pay their employees. And the idea that the government knows better about how to pay employees in the private sector is beyond me.
It's amazing that they would even be able to go and take that leap and put it out there in a public way.
Exactly.
And let me ask you really quickly about your show. You've got some big stuff coming up.
Well, we do. You know, the point is, Uma, we not only report and mouth off about what's happening, and we love to mouth off about what's happening, but we try as often as possible to go out and help people, to help, whether it's the victims of Madoff or the lawsuits that we have running against the Treasury and against the Federal Reserve Board, to try to get more information. We have been stonewalled by the Federal Reserve, even though they're essentially acting as an arm of the Treasury Department right now, taking our tax dollars and playing around with it as they will. But we are getting a lot of information from the Treasury Department because we won that lawsuit in court to get information that we believe the public has a right to look at. They've been keeping all that stuff very close to their vest, but we think the public has a right to know, and we're going to be revealing a lot of that stuff coming up this week on Scoreboard.
Well, it should be a great show. David, thank you so much as always.
Thanks
great to see you. Everybody tune in to David's big show and that big information coming up tonight.
Appreciate it. 7 p.m.
That's right, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks.